picking up rent at the house. How are you? Yes, the video logs would start in a car, and usually in the mornings, that's when I'm at my peak mental capacity. Usually as the day goes on, my mind starts to wear out a little bit. So doing these early is crucial for me. And they might be a little bit better if I have a cup of coffee. So I try to get some coffee in me and do this. But today I have to drive to my property in Vancouver. Our tenant is late on rent. He hasn't paid rent for 30 days. He's a month late on half the rent. He paid half of it, and he said he had a family emergency, so we were pretty flexible. See, my cousin actually manages the property for us, and he's a partner in our deals. He's the brains behind the whole thing. But he's so generous, man. He's so nice. Like, his message about the rent being late was like, I'm very upset about this. and I was sitting there and I was like, man, if it was me, I'd be like, dude, like, we're gonna kick you out of the house if you're this late ever again. I need the rent payments now. Maybe not as mean, but I would definitely escalate it more than he did. Yeah, so I gotta go pick up the rent. Then I gotta go to the neighbors and get them to sign a petition. So this property that we bought in Vancouver, we're tearing it down and turning it into a duplex. So we're gonna turn it into 2 homes. That's where we're adding some leverage to the equation, make it more profitable. But I gotta get the neighbors to sign off on increasing the FSR, which is something called the floor space ratio. It's just a fancy way of saying that the city has requirements for how much of the lot itself you could use as floor space, meaning like actual livable area. And so in order to make the house more livable, we're asking for the city to allow us to make the property slightly bigger. And so to do that, you have to go through this development variant permit process where pretty much it goes to the board and the board says yes or no. They kind of vote on it. If they vote on in your favor, then you're allowed to build the property bigger. If they don't, then you're not allowed to. I actually went to a development variance meeting 6 months ago. Divij and I sat in on a meeting because we wanted to see what the whole process was like, and also how lenient or flexible they were, and because we're trying to evaluate our probability that we get approved. So because we went to that meeting, we think there's a really, really high probability that they would approve us, and that's why we're applying for this development variance permit. But essentially, I'm just getting the neighbors to sign off on a petition that says that they are okay with this. Generally, if people in the community are on board with your idea, you have a higher likelihood of approval. So we're just doing like the little things to get the project moving along. So I'm gonna go knock on the neighbor's door. The other thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to ask the neighbor if they want to sell their property as an assembly, because if they're on board, instead of building a duplex, we can buy both the neighboring homes, so the one right beside us or the one to the other side. Maybe I'll get some videos of it, and then together sell them as an assembly unit, where instead of building 2 homes on the 3 lots, we can build a 6-story multifamily, which obviously would have tremendous upside. We'd have to get a lot of investor money in, and maybe a builder that's going to actually do the project for us. And I feel like that would be more fun, so I would much rather do that. Whether or not the neighbors want to sell their home, that's the hard part. We talked to them about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6. It's been a minute, but we talked to them about this, and at that time it was a straight up no. we'll see how this time plays out. Sometimes things change and people have a change of heart, so it's never a bad idea to try a couple times before you write something off. So we did leave a letter in their mailbox a couple months back, so we've tried a couple times already. I'm gonna make one last attempt today, because now I'm gonna tell them, hey, we're gonna build here, so if you guys are on the edge, you should sell it, but if not, then hold on to your property. But now you won't be able to sell your property over the next 10-15 years, because we're gonna have a brand new home and just the ROI won't be there. So let's see how this plays out. Hopefully it plays out to our favor. So I got that to take care of this morning. Yeah, I'll record the process, and then I'll keep you guys posted. This is what you call B-roll footage. So while I'm driving to the house in Vancouver, I figure I'd talk a little bit. But yeah, it's not tremendously hard to get a little bit of edge over either the competition, but the competition comes secondary. Really, it's if you have a unique perspective on things, you're not really competing against people or company or businesses. You're actually mostly just competing for attention, which you know, everything's competing for your attention. But the business just happens. But like, you know, for me to come out here on a Sunday where, you know, most people are taking off, you know, some people shift work, they're working, but most people will take the Sundays off and either spend time with friends, family, go have brunch somewhere, you know, versus myself. I'm actually out here, it looks like it's about to rain, but I'm out here in Vancouver going to my one of my properties, and I'm gonna go knock on the neighbor's door to get them to sign a petition saying that they're okay with us building the house in between as a duplex, and actually making it bigger. So I realize, yeah, it's not tremendously hard to get ahead, especially if you're focused on creating value for others and doing something that's fun and challenging in different ways. It's tremendously easy to get ahead and stand out from the noise. So I'm supposed to go pick up the rent from the guy's dad's house, who lives over here somewhere. And one of these houses, very shady. Very shady. All right, let's just pray I don't get killed. Yeah, I'm outside your home. I'm outside. I'm here.
Okay.
Do you want to come up?
My son, yes, my son said that I wait for you. You know this place. The last month you come here.
Yeah. So I see you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, let me come see you. Okay, bye. That was funny, hey? I hope he doesn't mind me recording. But yeah, I guess I'll be fine. I'll take you guys with me. Let's go. All right. Picking up rent at the house. How are you? Okay, so sorry, I had to stop recording because he didn't want me to record me getting the money for the rental. Very nice guy, actually. He started asking me my name, and I told him he's a Hispanic guy. So I told him my name is Rahul, but the Indian edition. And so he liked that. Thought it was kind of funny. Now I gotta go drive over to the house in Vancouver because I gotta go knock on the neighbors' doors and try to get them to sign a petition. I really wanted to record that interaction with him, but he he's like, don't record. He's like, he's uncomfortable being on camera, and I think most people are because, you know, they don't know where it's gonna end up, and you kind of explain to them like, hey, this is only for YouTube. I was telling him, hey, this is for YouTube. I have a channel where I talk about real estate and different things that I get into. to try to make them feel more comfortable with it. But as much as you try, you're not going to make everyone feel 100% comfortable 100% of the time. So, okay, so I'm not sure if you guys can see this on the camera, but you have this property here to my left behind the fence. So this property here, then you have this corner home, this one right here, so this corner house, and then around the corner we have my home. Okay, so in between, and in between there you can see the smaller house. So our property is ready for a duplex. Like, you can turn it into a duplex, but if, just like the neighbor's house, but if the neighbors sell their property, instead of building one house, we can sell it off as like as an assembly unit, where this lot here plus that lot plus the one behind it that I showed you guys, it can become a 6-story multi-family home. And I'll actually show you what that looks like. So you can see here it's a 6-story building. It's a multi-family, which again, then you're adding a lot more leverage to the property, and therefore the upside would be a lot bigger. And it's done really well. Like, it's a pretty nice build here. Done really well. That's the ideal goal. Whether or not that happens, it's a little bit more challenging because you have to get other parties involved and on board with the idea as well. Okay, so now I'm going to start approaching the neighbors. I'm gonna try to get like 10 to 15 signatures on the street. So I brought the actual building plan so I can show people. But before I do that, I'm gonna approach these guys and see if they want to sell their home as an assembly unit. Because if they're down to sell as an assembly unit, that's favorable. But if that doesn't work, then I've got my petition. Got my petition, the BCIT logo on it, but has nothing to do with BCIT. Just a petition. Okay. All right. Wish me luck. Let's see if I can get through this fence. Let's see. That fence is locked. So speaking to these guys, not an option. Let me see if there's like a back entrance or something, like a back door. No back door. I left a letter here for these guys last time around, but they weren't there. Okay, let me go talk to these guys here. Damn, it got so cold all of a sudden. And tough crowd. So first person I know, we've known that guy ever since we bought the house. He's like the immediate neighbor. Went to him, signed it like super quick. He's like, yeah, of course, man, like no big deal. Went to the gentleman across the street, a little bit, he was nice too. They're actually young family, super nice. He was a little bit more strict about the whole thing, where he's like, yeah, I don't want it to be past a certain height. I'm like, I let him know, hey, we're not looking for any variance on height. We're just trying to make the property deeper because of its irregular lot size. And that was fine. He didn't care, but he's like, I don't sign anything without properly taking a look at it, which I totally understand. So I'm like, I'll just email it to you. Just take a look at it. If you're okay with it, I'll send it to you digitally to sign. No one else was home. I think I knocked on 10 doors total, all the immediate neighbors that I could access. A lot of them, yeah, just weren't home. And after that, so I'll have to try back to catch them all. And then this one fella, older fella, knocked on his door. I'm like, hey, I'm the owner of this house. Reason I'm coming by, we're going to turn this house into a duplex. Give him the whole spiel, like, hey, we're going to turn it into a duplex, make it deeper, a little bit more livable. He's like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to sign it. I'm like, oh, huh? How come? And he's like, you're a developer. I'm like, no, it's just me and my cousin. But yeah, maybe eventually we'll become developers. And but yeah, we're building a house. And he's like, no, I don't want to sign it. And I said, how come? He's like, I couldn't understand him. He's an older Caucasian fella, couldn't really understand the accent. He's like, oh, something about raising prices and this and that. He's like, you're gonna sell it, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's a duplex. I might live in one and sell the other half. Anyways, he did not want to sign it. So I was like, honestly, no big deal. It's all good. The thing with the development variance permit and even getting these petitions signed is it's not a requirement. I think people think it's like a lot of these people, especially when I get onto their doorstep and I'm talking to them about signing this petition, I'd let them know like, hey, trust me, we do not need this to build this property. It's not a requirement at all. I'm like, it helps our case. So if you're on board, it'll make things easier for us. We'll have something to show the development variance committee, but it's not a requirement to build a house. So whether or not you're on board, we will probably get it approved. Yeah, so I mean, I'd like to do it cordially and have you on board and get you involved in the process and make sure you're happy and, you know, content. But if you're gonna oppose this, then we going to war. We going to war. And because we're not breaking any laws or regulations, I will probably win out. But I'm just trying to keep it cordial, keep it friendly, and it gives us an opportunity to get to know the neighbors. Just in case I do end up moving in the property, then I know the neighbors. Now we have a relationship. It just kind of makes sense. But anyways, yeah, it was cold and only talked to 3 people, and one of the 3 signed, so 30% ratio. But I think Ben. I think one of the guys will sign. The other one was like a clear no. I'll try to work on it this week and try to get more people on board. And so, of course, in Vancouver, it has to rain almost daily.